So again, my name is Peter Mayer, and this is my colleague Kun Shao. We're from Webster University in St. Louis in the United States, which is right in the heart of the country. So we'd like to take a few minutes this morning to talk about our paper entitled Student Observations of Global Learning. And in particular, it's pertaining to an online IT study abroad course that we've been running for the last few years. In particular then, as far as an outline of our presentation is concerned, we'll give a brief overview, very brief overview of Webster University first and foremost, and talk about the somewhat unique environment that Webster provides in terms of global education. Talk about some of the study abroad options that we have at Webster to show that the type of thing that we're highlighting to our students in terms of their career or their time at Webster. And then we'll focus on our particular course, the Global IT Development, in which we talk about IT development, but in obviously a global context. And some of the assessment methods that we're striving to incorporate into this program to try to document and ascertain the benefits of this type of course to our students and what we can do to improve it in the future. And then, has already been indicated, we'll be very happy to address the questions at the end of the session this morning. So, very briefly, Webster University was founded in 1915. So, as you can very quickly determine, this year is very proudly our 100-year anniversary. And it is founded in St. Louis, Missouri, which is again in the Midwest of the United States, right in the heart of the country. That still remains the home campus of the institution, but Webster really has developed into a truly worldwide institution. So we have campuses now in 4 continents and constituting 8 countries. So within Europe, for example, we have campuses in London, Vienna, Geneva, Athens, Leiden, and we have campuses in Asia, both in China and Thailand, as well as our latest acquisition or latest campus location, I should say, in Ghana, Africa. So we're truly a global institution, and we really try to highlight the notion of global learning in whatever program we're dealing with within the institution. That's a big focus. So, for example, in terms of the university mission, I won't read the whole thing, but the point to highlight is the idea of global citizenship, which again is something that's very important as far as the institution is concerned. So preparing students for the global workforce. Our particular school is the George Herbert Walker School of Business and Technology, and that encompasses business management as well as mathematics and computer science, which is the department that Quinn and I happen to be in. It's the largest academic unit within the institution, and programs are offered at all of the campus locations throughout the world. So the notion of global education for our purposes in our school, in particular our department, is really critical. So at any one time, we have about 13,000 students enrolled worldwide within our school. Again, the mission of the school focuses on preparing students for the global workforce. So as far as we're concerned in computer science, that's a fairly obvious idea because anyone developing skills in computer science these days is going to almost certainly work in a global context, whether it be outsourcing, whether it be developing applications with geographically dispersed teams. Understanding the cultures of other locations in the world is really very important, even for somebody developing skills in computer science. So, study abroad, as you can imagine, is a really major component of many, many students' careers at Webster University. And there are lots of opportunities for incorporating study abroad activities for our students, again, irrespective of which type of program they're studying. We have the longer-term study abroad programs in which students can go to another campus for a whole semester or a whole year, if they so desire. We'll even buy them an air ticket to go, free of charge. So it's a golden opportunity for students in one location to really develop an understanding of the culture of another country and incorporate that into their program. So we feel that that's an extremely important opportunity. Of course, many of our students are working adults, and that becomes extremely difficult to do that. So we have to come up with other programs, other types of activities that still embellish the ideas of global learning in some sense, and certainly as far as developing understandings of other cultures. So we have short-term programs, and the one that we're focusing on here is what we call a hybrid program, which is an online course, but there is a travel component in which we go to a particular country to really understand how business works in that country and to talk about some of the cultural highlights of that country to provide a deeper understanding. So that's the one that we're going to focus a little bit on here. So Kun now will talk a bit more about the course that we've been running, again, over the last few years.
Okay, so the course we developed actually is called, the Global IT Development. So, and the course we developed is called, and the Global IT Development. So the course, actually, it's a 9-week course because including undergraduate and also graduate students. And also we have, 7 weeks online learning, focus on the course content. So each week we give students, actually, and the readings and also, discussions and also homework, of course. And also, including, and also the course including 1.5 weeks of travel, which we went to, 3 places. They're all in Asia, Hong Kong, Shenzhen, and also in Beijing. And also, and we have a half week, it's called, post-reflection, and we ask students to come back and also, and finish their, term project. So this is pretty much, the course, framework. And also the course in the outcomes are, carefully, designed. Okay, we want to give students an opportunity, actually, to experience the global IT development, especially, in China. And also in the meantime, and we want them to understand, and the software development process, particularly, and in China, and also, in Hong Kong, and also, we want, immerse actually students in the culture of, and of Asia and also, China. And we focus actually on 3 areas when we design the course. And one is called academic learning because, and conventionally, and there's some, and even for the students, and they have, the wrong perception about, this study abroad. They always think, study abroad is pure, actually, the travel course. They would say, okay, this is a travel course, and not, focus too much on the content. But we in this course, we focus, and we want to try to design the course as much as, and the content we can put in, like in the regular course. So in the meantime, okay, we use the travel actually to enhance the course contents. So those are the learning outcomes, okay, to immerse, and we focus on academic learning and also, and to have students, experience the culture and also, and to integrate with professionals, okay, and IT professionals in China, as well as, the local people. So the course, the visits, okay, so I'm not going to go through, all the ways, those are the visits we carefully actually, work with and also, selected. And because, in order to actually meet our learning outcomes, okay. Examples of Hong Kong, the mutual control actually, system. That system is highly advanced, okay, and the control system in Hong Kong. And also the Hong Kong, Science Park is what, involves a lot of, cutting edge, innovative projects happening in Hong Kong. And also, and we had, students actually integrate with, faculty members in the Hanxin Management College in Hong Kong, and which she gave, very innovative and also, dynamic, lecture with our students. So the other companies in Shenzhen, okay, so all these, companies, they are high, actually, and advanced, IT, companies in China, and we all know Foxconn is very famous, or notorious, okay, and it's a partner actually Apple, and also Huawei, and China Unicom. China Unicom pretty much dominates the telecommunications, okay, and in China. And also, and we visited, we also selected some companies that is what, and American companies, okay, and in China or in Asia. We want students to see how American companies, okay, and operate actually, and business in China. So, so those are, three places that we visited actually, in China, in Beijing. Okay, of course, we include a lot of cultural activities because, and the three main goals of our course is what, and have students actually integrate with local culture. And also, and for most of students from our university, and this is the first time they have ever been to, and Hong Kong, to Asia. And most of students not even go anywhere, right? Yes, it's their first time to get on an airplane, actually. So, and so those are the cultural events we design for the students to experience the culture and integrate with the people, of course, the food. So those are the, and the pictures you can see, okay? And also the Great Wall and the Forbidden City. And also this is student dressed like what, the locals. And also, and this is the company we visited in Oracle. I didn't list the Oracle, but this is, the Oracle company, and we visit. So this is the course. The assessment methods, how are we going to, and evaluate the course. So, and we use, a bunch of different varieties of methods, pre and post self-assessment, a questionnaire, and also we provide some business scenarios to give, students actually, and more, opportunities to, to test or, to express, okay, their, and analysis to a certain business scenarios. If you're interested, we can talk about later on because we have limited time. We're not going to go through all this questionnaire and also, scenarios, and one by one. And also we use, the travel report and reflect the culture part, and of the travel and also student interviews. A travel report including the self-reflections of focus on the travel. And we also have, a term and in the research project. It's a group research project. And we also did some student interview. And Peter is going to talk about, the specific result, our findings.
All right, so as Kun said, we've really, over the years, we've understood very clearly that these courses are highly beneficial to our students. We've seen that they're interested in working in global companies. We've seen that they're interested in studying in other countries. We've seen that they're interested in doing PhDs that involve international business, etc. But what we've tried to do is we've tried to more formally come up with a plan to enumerate exactly what those feelings are, and hopefully going forward with that documentation we can find ways to improve this course as in years to come. So one of the fairly simple things that we did, but we found it to be quite instructive, is we've created some simple questionnaires that we've given to the students both at the beginning and at the end of the course to reflect, for the students to reflect on how well prepared they would be for various scenarios. So for example, in terms of academic learning, I'm certainly not going to read through all the questions. We can certainly go through this later if you so desire. But in terms of academic learning, we would ask questions at the beginning, at the end of a course. For example, I'm well prepared to meet and work with business professionals in China, etc. We deliberately asked the students not to dwell upon these questions too much, but to go with their instincts. And we measured the...
Especially for the pre, actually.
Especially the pre, right. So as far as the pre and post-course means are concerned, there was a very clear improvement, which hopefully would be expected in this course. So we're very happy about that, and we feel, therefore, that the academic learning component of the course was certainly successful. Intercultural awareness was another area that the learning outcomes focused on. We haven't really come to any great conclusions about these results yet, but we were very surprised to find that the that the answers to these questions, that the means were very, very close from the beginning to the end of the course. We don't quite know what that means yet. Maybe the answers, the questions were not particularly well posed, or maybe there are other ways that we could answer those questions. But the reflection that the students did at the end in terms of a travel report where they were asked to describe their experiences really did highlight the cultural awareness. And so that didn't come out so obviously in the that we provided. So that's something that we have to look into. But the means were actually very high in both cases. Personal development was very much the same. One thing I would say is that at Webster, it is again a global institution, but the students who choose to go on these types of courses really are self-selecting in many respects. So typically, the type of student who's going to go usually is very interested in this type of situation already at the beginning, and perhaps that's what's being reflected in the questionnaires. But in the longer descriptions, as far as the travel reports are concerned, then they have the opportunity to give a greater depth of explanation as to the types of things they've learned in terms of culture. And we think that's where the real benefits show up. So as far as the business scenarios are concerned that Quinn mentioned earlier, Quinn, do you want to?
Yeah, okay. So for in a business, because we provide some scenarios, and also in the business setting, typically how do you work, like what well, I can show you the examples we did for the scenarios, but I think our time is running out. Is that right?
You've got 3 minutes.
3 minutes, yes. So I'm gonna yes. Yeah, we'll ask the question. You can ask the questions, and then we can show you a little bit more about the scenarios because it's very interesting. So, and based on these scenarios, we can see, and also the pre-course response reflect more of an American approach of handling the situation, okay, in a specific scenario. And after, in the post, actually the course responses from students appear to reflect more of a sort of like appreciation and understanding of the Chinese way of handling the same situation. So that is, sort of like, what we expected, yeah, but, it means what it really works, okay? And so, we can talk about these scenarios, later on. So, and we thought, okay, this is, and that means what, they learned something, within a short period of time, they did, because, and the way of their thinking is switching. I mean, in the Chinese environment, okay? And before that, their way of solving the problems and also in approach is a typical American way, okay? And, and handling some issues of the business. So, and also as Peter mentioned, that is very interesting because for academic learning and students from before and after, students we can see a big improvement, right? And also for the culture and also personal development, the pre-question, the mean is pretty much the similar, yes. But in their self-report, it's opposite. Yeah, that means what we don't see much students mention, and also how much they improved for the actual academic, and the perspective. But they express a lot of experience, and also and their understanding. And from the culture and also the personal development. So that's just something to consider about it. Yes. So those are some examples.
Right. So very very quickly, I know that our time is up. Right. So I'm not going to read through each of these in turn, but the comments that we got were very very positive. That the students really felt that they learned something from it. One thing I would add is that we feel it's very important in these types of courses to really prepare students very well for the experience that they're about to undertake. And preparing them, I think, so that they can go to China and really appreciate the culture and the business practices is really critically important. And we feel that that came out very well in terms of the comments. Very briefly, my eyes have been opened to a new culture. That type of comment, as simple as it sounds, to us is very, very but to travel to China, speak face-to-face with corporations, and literally walk in the Chinese footsteps learns more than you ever can from any book that you would read. So we feel very good about this. And the very last one, which I like very much, I have to say that I didn't just learn a great deal about Beijing and the People's Republic of China, as I learned so much about myself. So we feel very good about comments of that nature. So questions and comments will come up at the end, but we thank you very much for your time this morning, and we look forward to discussing further perhaps a little bit later on. So thank you very much.